Hi, welcome to this video about the Bolivia La Paz mission. I'm Alex Blinsky. I'm the founder of Prepare to Serve, and we're trying to put up lots of resources about each mission. We video interview lots of RMs, but we have not video interviewed anyone from the La Paz mission yet. If you happen to be an RM watching this and you're willing to come to Utah and be interviewed, just message us or comment below. Anyway, though we have not video interviewed any RMs, we have collected about 9 in-depth written surveys about the mission. So now is your privilege to watch me tell you some interesting stories and things in the surveys. There's a lot of content here, so I'll see how fast I can pummel through it, and hopefully it will be entertaining and educational for you. So get ready and enjoy. This is from Clayton. Salteñas, plato pasena, and charquecan. Rex. A lot of boiled potatoes. El Alto is like Idaho. I thought Chenyo was not very good. I'm paraphrasing here. But other missionaries got used to it. They had pensionistas when I served there. If you're lucky, she'll make what you want. If not, she'll make what she wants and pocket some of the stipend. The street food was good. Salchipapas, tucumanas. There were some American restaurants in downtown La Paz in the wealthy east part of town. In the jungle area, a cup of cold grape soda was amazing on hot days. Brent. Pollo al carbón, salteñas, tucumanas, calapurca, potosí, yerba mate, api. So mate is like a ground up herb drink that you sip. They have that in Argentina where I served. Jeff. Sajta, lomo montado, chicharrón de chancho. I think that's like pigskin that's fried. Salteñas, mangoes, shahua, chicken, Ned, chicken, Kirby, chuno, Colette, liquid yogurt in soft plastic pouch, hot chincha. I think it's called thick purple or cream drink. Jenna, spicy chicken, carrot tea. I've had carrot tea before. You just like roast carrot pieces and then you just like cook it and add sugar. It's really good. Dave, salteñas, salchipapas, malraquetas, and cuñapes. Rex, the people are all kind of funny. They love to smile. They're very simple. They love jokes and they love to make jokes. They love to laugh. It's funny. They have a holiday that celebrates when they'll take back their ocean from Peru. The Peruvian missionaries have to be careful that day. The story of how they lost it is also funny and a sign they're probably Lamanite descendants. Well, sounds interesting. Brent, the time we were chased by an apparently rabid dog. Terrifying at the time, but I laughed hysterically afterwards. I think a lot of mission experiences tend to be like that, where they're terrifying and then funny. Jeff, first day there, asked a very humble family if I could use their bathroom, was escorted by one of the children to an empty lot behind a mud brick wall. Colette, hiring a taxi for a preparation day to travel around exploring. We were 4 sisters, paid very little. One of the sisters kept trying to take control of the steering wheel from the driver as she was afraid the car would go off over the cliff. Funny, but scary. Jana, washed laundry when in Oruro, line dried. Next morning they were frozen in the position they hung in. Dave, eating the first salteña. Clayton, every night walking the streets of El Alto and avoiding rabid dogs. Rex, if you see a pack of wild dogs, just reach down for a rock and usually they'll leave you alone. You might also see a few crazy drunks and domestic abuse. It's hard to know what the right way to intervene is. Even if you win the battle, you could make the war worse for the victim. Those are situations I wish I was more prepared for. Abuse is so sad. Brent, carnavales involves a lot of intoxicated individuals. Our mission president had us stay inside as district zones that week to keep us off the streets. Travel in Bolivia involves some very treacherous, heart-stopping roads through the mountains. Jeff, the miners were rioting in La Paz and fighting with the police, throwing large rocks and dynamite. Dynamite? Whoa, that's crazy. The police were using tear gas and the whole city was hazy from it. Our eyes, nose, and throats burned from it anytime we went outside. There were other even crazier experiences, but I won't share those here in case your mom's reading. Ned, riding a colectivo in Las Yungas, Sud Road on a paseo. I think that's like riding a bus on the road. Colette, going through a civil war. Whoa, when did she serve? When did Colette serve? 1979. Wow, okay, where are we? Going through a civil war. We were stuck out of our area after having been down to the mission office and could not return back to the Altiplano in Alto Lima. An uproar by uni students blocking the road with big rock boulders. The miners came in from the mines and threw some dynamite and planning on throwing more. We were not allowed home till the president said it was all clear, which was a week later. We had not changed our clothes or food and ate little that the other sitters had, but we were prepared for evacuating La Paz if needed to. But when the elders came to visit during the curfew to get photos of all that was going on, a tank pointed its gun at the window while we were at the window getting photos. The leader of the military group knocked at the door and 4 military men pushed their way in with their rifles, and then went to each one of us demanding our films to be given to him and to destroy them. We were ever so scared. Oh my goodness. Having a tank point at you and then having the military come in, that is intense. Dave, a drunk pulling a knife on us. Rex, the Lord will guide you if you let him, and if you don't, get prideful. Be diligent in your studies, ponder, pray, be good to your companion, and every day will be a spiritual experience. Watching General Conference will be better for you than a football fan watching the Super Bowl. You will receive real-time revelation that will help you and the people you serve. Brent, too many to list here. I loved so much of my mission and so many of the people I met. My testimony increased in leaps and bounds while there. I loved visiting Tiwanaku when Elder Holland came to visit our mission. Jeff, the best parts of my mission were just teaching with the Spirit. Better and more fulfilling than a million fun stories, and I was able to experience this almost every day. The Book of Mormon is particularly meaningful to these people, and it was always amazing to see them realize its significance. Ned, in Santa Cruz Ramados, Hermana Justiniano, a grandmother, had a dream of eating corn, as I recall, that was delicious the night before her baptism. Colette, being a welfare sister and not able to have baptisms, I was able to line up some baptisms of deaf people by interpreting the proselyting discussions in sign language to the investigator, and I was given the gift of hands to interpret. I've never heard of the gift of the hands, but that makes sense. That's awesome. Jana, I didn't have the opportunity to proselytize much, but one time in the middle of nowhere outside Cobija in La Selva, we spoke with an extremely intelligent lady who I know will one day join the church. The spirit was strong. The language rolled off our tongues fluently. The love in the room was profound. Every day, says Dave. Clayton, highest mission in the world. Rex, I haven't kept up on the political history since I left, but from what I hear, it's interesting. I'm almost not sure this survey will help, because for a while at least, they weren't even taking white missionaries there anymore. Brent, Tiwanaku has pre-Incan ruins. Many people outside the city speak Quechua and Aymara. The altitude in La Paz is very high, making it the highest country capital in the world. That's way cool. I think my brother went to the Bolivia for perpetual education fund. I think he passed out his first morning he woke up because the oxygen, he had to kind of adapt to the altitudes. Jeff, very few American missionaries, at least when I was there. The mission is split between a very high altitude with a cold and dry climate in the western half and a very hot and humid climate in the Amazon jungle in the eastern half. In the Altiplano, around La Paz, and to the south toward Oruro and Potosi, Over 300 varieties of potatoes are cultivated. You'll see them all laid out in the markets. 300 potatoes? It's like an Idaho boy's dream. Colette. Approximately 720 people were baptized in 1 month after a commitment was made by the missionaries to the mission president. Wow, that's incredible. Taking an hour to make the descent to the mission home for a shower on preparation days, as it was in the middle of the huge bowl, and we were in Alto Lima. Hundreds of children with white crosses in the cemetery. Many died from parents giving them chemist-bought medicine for diarrhea, but it killed off the white blood cells in them also. They sold this medicine believing it must be good as it was from overseas, not knowing the person needed to be monitored in hospital while taking it. That's so sad. And I think Colette was like 1979, so that was a while back. Jana, we spent more time trying to find all the inactive members than anything else. Dave, one of the highest missions in the world. Clayton, the weather was either sunny and hot, sunny with freezing winds, or rainy and cold. Rex, cold to the bone winters, hardly any snow. During the rainy season, the hillside areas have flash rivers. Otherwise, it's hot. We were allowed to wear hats and sunglasses for protection. Sometimes the hats made me think of Indiana Jones. Brent, mostly chilly to cold and dry. There's a rainy season, but it's short. Jeff, high, dry, and cold to the west. Low, hot, and humid to the east. Ned, cold at nights in La Paz and Oruro, and very humid and sweaty in Santa Cruz, especially during the days. Lots of rain during the rainy season everywhere. Kirby, cold at times. Colette, it was cold most times in 1979 as there were not a lot of houses on the Altiplano. Us missionaries did not have bikes or cars. We walked everywhere except when going to La Paz Central when we caught the local bus. Jana, in the Altiplano, you would wake up and it'd be freezing. Around lunchtime, all the layers you were wearing are now tied around your waist. Late afternoon, it would downpour, be windy and gray. The evenings, the temperature would drop again, and drop so cold it froze pipes and anything left outside. It was like having 3 or 4 seasons in one day. My skin was so dark, had such tan lines from the sun midday. Dave, La Paz, sunburns and dry. Jungle, humid. Clayton, you will not find a more humble people than in the Altiplano of Bolivia. All were willing to give the little they had in their homes to visitors. Rex, a lot of them have so little, yet their faith is so strong. They're simple and humble. I had a lot to learn from them. Brent, very humble people who are usually very accepting of us. They are amazing people to get to know. Love the country and geographic diversity there. Jeff, very loving, open people. Ned, Santa Cruz was beautiful. The people were very humble and friendly. I felt very blessed to serve among some of the most of the purest Lamanites. Colette, they were very humble and accepted the gospel easily. Many, however, were converted to the missionaries, but things did begin to change slightly before I finished the mission. They had very little and loved making new friends. The areas I served varied in cleanliness, but were interesting to visit and work there. Jana, kindness, big hearts, good and bad people existed. Dave, the humility of the people. Sounds like a really amazing people to serve among. You're lucky if you're going to serve there. Clayton, scarves, sweaters, and thick-soled shoes. Rex, don't get shirts that are tight around the neck. Get good dress shoes that are comfortable and durable enough for hiking. Your suit coat will wear out. It's okay to buy a new one. Remember who you're representing. You don't have to pack a 2-year supply of toothpaste and deodorant. They actually sell that stuff there. That comes from an internet rumor that was floating around when I left. It was nice that I didn't have to buy much, but it made transfers unnecessarily heavy. Brent, a warm sweater, water-resistant overcoat, hat, gloves, and warm socks. Jeff, bring sweaters to wear over your white shirt and under your suit coat, and long garments and warm socks for sleeping. Ned, make sure you have halazone pills to purify water. Rain jacket if you can get it in your suitcase. Colette, do not pack shoes from home. Purchase them in Bolivia. Their shoes are very comfy and cheap, as are clothes from the markets. Bring a heavy woolen coat from home as it gets cold. You could purchase a poncho or jumper in Bolivia made from alpaca wool. That is warm also. Gianna, hard to say. In the Andes, sweaters, leggings, long sleeves, warm shoes, adjusted skirts. I had to cut mine to my knees. When you walked around, it was so steep, you'd step on the front of your skirt. In the jungle, lots of thin shirts. I only owned 2 summer dresses, still wore skirts from the cold. Didn't matter, you showered 2 times a day. Unless it flooded, then it didn't matter what you were wearing anywhere. Dave, good shoes. Clayton, healthy lungs. Rex, countless. It's one of the best learning experiences you'll ever have next to marriage and children. Brent, the experience in Bolivia was amazing. Meeting people in a different culture, seeing people change their lives. My testimony was strengthened. Jeff, in one word, experience. Ned, growing up, being more optimistic and less critical. Appreciation of the USA, strengthening my testimony, meeting so many good people. I am in contact with 2 Bolivian families now, one in Bolivia and one in New Hampshire. Hey, that's where I'm from. That's cool. Being an asthmatic and not able to run in my life, was able to run kilometers with no problem. Such a blessing. Jana, in understanding that sometimes God does leave you in the darkness of times to see what your reactions will be. In understanding that God does know what He is doing and what's happening anywhere in the world, despite the confusion, horror, fear, misunderstanding, etc. you may feel. Clayton, the language, of course, but also learned how to love people for who they were, no matter what. Rex, Spanish. I began understanding people better, but even still working on that. Also spiritual skills. Brent, learn Spanish, leadership, and teaching skills. Jeff, interpersonal teaching, language, stress management, work ethic, leadership. Colette, another language, to sacrifice more of myself and be patient. Jana, how to farm in the jungle and make rich rice from scratch. Also learn how to catch fish with my hands, but not quite. Laugh out loud. How to make a building on stilts, complete with mud stove. How to make a house of dirt bricks in the Andes. Dave, Spanish and working with people. Clayton, learn phrases in Aymara. This will help you get a foot in the door. Rex, the quicker you get the language, the better. Read the Book of Mormon in Spanish. Brent, I wish I knew the Spanish language better before arriving in Bolivia. If going to La Paz, prepare yourself with aerobic conditioning. The high altitude is beyond punishing your first weeks there. The better your aerobic conditioning, the faster you will acclimate. Jeff, savor every day. It goes by too fast, and you will never have a time like that again in your life. Colette, I don't know. Jana, going to South America may be a land of plentiful baptisms, but it doesn't matter how many if they fall away, and then become future missionaries' jobs to go find them all. In a ward of 200, we had a bishop, the elders, and us, and about 5 congregational members. Sounds like there's a lot of work to do with less actives in Bolivia. Dave, wish I knew Spanish. Clayton, get in shape. You'll be climbing hills at nearly 13,000 feet. Rex, follow the rules. Be worthy of and seek the guidance of the Spirit in everything you do. Brent, a mission can be an amazing experience that you will forever cherish. It can be a defining period of your life. You must give 100% of yourself to the Lord's work. Jeff, I was ignorant of just how much companionship, gossip, political leadership issues seem to affect many missionaries. Ignore all that stuff. None of it's important. You are there to teach and bear testimony. Be a good friend to your companion and do everything you can to avoid contention of any kind, and you will have a wonderful mission and make lasting friendships. Ned, strengthen your testimony as much as possible. Love and serve people as much as you can. Colette, the Lord knows where He wants you to serve. Just give it all you've got when you're there. You will be lifted to a higher level of spirituality while serving, and while dedicating your time to doing the Lord's work. You will see blessings in yourself, in yours and others' lives that you serve. Jana, it's nothing like growing up with the gospel in the States. Very eye-opening. Local members do what they can to survive with the help of the church. Have faith. Clayton, a companion once began a blessing with Pongo mis monos, monkeys, sobre tu cabeza, rather than manos. So he said, putting my monkeys on your head instead of my hands. Jeff, too many to count. You will insert your foot firmly into your mouth on many occasions. It's important to be able to laugh at yourself and not worry about it. Ned, know the difference between pecho and pechuga, and embarazada and embarazoso. Colette, I don't remember if there was one, but I do remember that the locals would use sips instead of sips instead of si pues, and clarops instead of claro pues. When I tried using that with other Spanish-speaking people outside of Bolivia, they had no idea what I was saying, so I quickly learned to not use it anymore. Jana, I prayed and I have and gave Jesus a female pronoun. Dave, embarazado doesn't mean you're embarrassed. It means you're pregnant, by the way. So, well, hopefully you enjoyed that. Eventually, hopefully we'll be able to interview a variety of RMs who served in the La Paz mission. Until then, hopefully this is kind of a fun resource that you can refer to if you're a pre-missionary or return missionary. If you have any things you'd recommend us doing to build resources about the La Paz mission, feel free to let us know. On our website on preparetoserve.com, there's tons of more resources about the La Paz mission. We've got a couple blogs, we've got a bunch of alumni groups, mission t-shirts, travel videos about La Paz. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a splendid, awesome day.